What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com. And we got a little bit of breaking news as Kansas City Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce suffered a hyperextended knee injury in practice that could potentially keep him out of the Week 1 contest versus the Detroit Lions. From Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce's status is in doubt for Thursday night's opener versus the Lions because of his knee injury. But sources tell me, and at Tom Pelissero, it's not believed to be a long-term injury. They'll wait for swelling to go down and go from there. And then James Palmer of NFL Network also followed this up by saying, I'm told Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce has appeared to avoid a long-term injury after hyperextending his knee in practice today. As it looks right now for his status Thursday, or this being a 1 to 2 week injury, a lot will depend on how fast the swelling goes down. So obviously this is less than ideal news as we inch very close to the Kansas City Chiefs season opener versus the Detroit Lions. A game in which they're probably also going to be without Chris Jones, their star defensive tackle. And you can't help but think about Chris Jones seeing the news about this Travis Kelce injury, because that means the Chiefs will be without two of their top three players in Thursday night's season opener. That's a huge deal. I mean, this Lions team is very underrated. I think a lot of people are underrating them. They were an explosive offense last year. They finished top three in offense just behind the Eagles and Chiefs, and I only expect them to get better in 2023. They just missed the playoffs last year. They finished 9-8, but they were in the playoff race until the very end. They drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, the Alabama running back, in the first round. Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best young wide receivers in the league. This is going to be a tough matchup for the Chiefs because, again, they don't have Chris Jones already. Chris Jones is a huge part of their defense and a huge part of the pass rush. And without him, I just don't see the defense having an awesome performance in Week 1 versus a Detroit Lions team that I think is going to yet again be one of the better offenses in the league. Also because Steve Spagnuolo defenses tend to start out slow. Then you just add in the fact that Chris Jones isn't going to be there. I expect this to be a pretty heavy offensive display from both teams. But of course, if you're going to beat the Lions and you know that they're going to score points, we think they're going to score a lot of points given that Chris Jones isn't there on defense and just the Lions' track record on offense. They're going to be harder to stop without Chris Jones. So the Chiefs are going to have to score a lot of points in order to beat the Lions. Problem is, it becomes a lot harder to score a lot of points because now you're without Travis Kelce. Now, I suppose I shouldn't speak in absolutes because it's not 100% confirmed that Travis Kelce is going to miss Week 1, but if I just had to guess right now, I would assume that he misses Week 1. A hyperextended knee usually is at least a couple of weeks, and to rush him just to play on Thursday night, I just don't see it happening. Not Week 1. Not with Travis Kelce. He's one of your biggest stars. I don't see them rushing him back and making that injury worse. I believe that the Chiefs think they have enough on offense to survive this game without Travis Kelce. And that's going to have to be the mentality because I just don't expect Travis Kelce to return from this injury in just a little under 2 days. At this point, I'm just glad I'm breathing a sigh of relief because Travis Kelce seems to have avoided serious injury. Trust me, I am extremely grateful for that part of this news. However, I can't help but think that this news emphasizes a lot of thoughts in my mind. The very first one being this type of stuff, this possibility with Travis Kelce, is the exact reason why a lot of us Chiefs fans were wanting to acquire a proven veteran wide receiver this offseason. Because the truth is, guys, Travis Kelce is going to be 34 years old here in a little bit. I think next month he turns 34 years old. Michael Darcy and I talked about this all throughout the offseason about how it's getting scary how much the Kansas City Chiefs are relying on a 33, 34-year-old Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has continually talked about how hard these seasons are getting for him and how, as he gets older, These long NFL seasons are really hard on his body, and he really has to work hard to recover in the off seasons. And eventually, you're gonna start to see Travis Kelce breaking down a little bit. And I'm not saying that that's what this is, but this is the kind of stuff that we are afraid of, and that a lot of Chiefs fans, including myself, were trying to say, hey, let's go out there, let's get a DeAndre Hopkins or an Odell Beckham Jr. I know those guys got a lot of money, but there are other options too out there besides them. Let's get one of those guys so we're not putting so much pressure on Travis Kelce for yet another season. We can take some of the load off of him. And though I like the talent that the Chiefs have at wide receiver, there's just not a lot of proven production. There's not a lot of known commodities. And that just scares you a little bit, just a tiny bit. I think the Chiefs will be fine as far as Thursday night. And it's a good thing that Travis Kelce seems to have avoided long-term injury for right now. But this situation echoes a long-term concern that many Chiefs fans have had for some time. I also mentioned how it's kind of hard not to think about Chris Jones and all of this because had this been a long-term injury for Travis Kelce, that gives Chris Jones a little bit more leverage. I know people want to pretend that Chris Jones doesn't have any leverage in negotiations, but there's a very short list of players on the Chiefs that if they were to go down, that you start to lose confidence in their ability to win games. Travis Kelce and Chris Jones are two of those players. And they're both not going to be there. That's now two of your three best players. And we all hope this is just for one game, but what if it wasn't? And what if it does go for a few games? That gives Chris Jones a little bit more leverage because he's saying, you guys need me. You guys know you need me. You know, you're already down Travis, you're down myself, and things aren't looking so hot. Throughout all the Chris Jones talk this offseason, I've mostly sided with Chris Jones, and a lot of you guys have said, oh, it doesn't matter. We don't need Chris Jones. As long as we have Mahomes, Kelce, Reed, we'll be fine. Well, now you don't have Kelce. That creates an even bigger problem. And as much as we all want to believe that Patrick Mahomes is God, he cannot, overcome every single blemish on this team. And I want to reiterate one more time that I'm not saying that the season is over or anything. I mean, assuming that this Travis Kelce injury is short term and assuming Chris Jones comes back at some point, most of this won't matter. But just like I said about not acquiring a veteran wide receiver, this echoes a long-term concern that a lot of Chiefs fans have. What if you were to be without Chris Jones and or Travis Kelce for a very long time? How are you going to absorb those losses? Have you acquired enough depth? Have you acquired enough talent at the receiver position, at the defensive line position, that those guys can go down and you can say, hey, we're still Super Bowl contenders? I want to be clear that no matter what, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be competitive. But that short list of Chiefs players that truly matter, the more that you start to subtract from that list, the far less likely it is that the Kansas City Chiefs are actually competing for a Super Bowl in 2023. Now, I don't want to freak any Chiefs fans out, and I don't want to give off the wrong idea, because hopefully that's not something that we have to encounter, and hopefully the Chiefs have both Chris Jones and Travis Kelce back, before too long. That said, though, this creates a problem for Thursday night. The Lions are an explosive offense. They're an underrated team. I think they're going to give the Chiefs a very good fight, and Patrick Mahomes is basically going to have to go out there and Superman this thing. That's kind of what you're hoping for this Thursday night. And we'll see who else steps up, man. I mean, I do have a lot of faith in some of the younger guys on this team. I want to see Rashee Rice go out there and make big plays. Justin Ross, let's see if that preseason hype translates into the regular season and he gets some play. Noah Gray, the Chiefs have kind of been grooming him to take the load off of Kelce for a few years now. Maybe he can have a big game. We'll just have to see. But this Kelce injury this close to the game on Thursday night, not having a ton of time to prepare for the fact that you are going to be without him, it throws a monkey wrench into things for sure. On the bright side of things, everyone can take a deep breath that this isn't the end of the world, that Travis Kelce is going to be okay most likely, and we'll see about the Chris Jones thing, but hopefully that gets ironed out sometime in the near future and the Chiefs aren't without both of these guys for too long. But those are my thoughts on the Travis Kelce injury news and just the situation overall. But I want to hear from you guys. Are you concerned about the Chiefs' odds versus the Lions on Thursday night for the season opener? How concerned are you about the Travis Kelce injury on a scale from 1 to 10? Let me know down below. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com. And also, make sure you check out my new merch that just came out. Use the code SHOWME5 for $5 off your first order. That's for the next 48 hours. Hopefully you guys can check that out. I worked really hard on that stuff so you can rep Show Me Football. And it comes in all kinds of different colors and all that stuff so you guys can rep your favorite teams too. But I will be signing off. So I will see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs.